my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of, you guessed it, the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. So let's get going.
T-minus 10, 9, 8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
1,
You know the rest.
0. Ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Come on. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's a show. Come on. Let's go. Come on, all aboard. Time for the show with no name here on Vaughn Radio, where English is exciting. And we keep it real. None of that fake textbook English. My tailor is rich. What the? I mean, who taught you that? When are you ever going to need that sentence? And either way, we contract anyway. It's not my tailor is, it's my tailors. Right? Siempre que podemos contraer, contraemos. ¿Por qué? Es un inglés más natural. I know they told you the opposite, but also they taught you the grammar and didn't teach you how to speak, how to understand, how to express yourself. And that is what learning a language is really about. Ask my daughter. She has no idea what a phrasal verb is, what the present perfect continuous is, and she doesn't give a damn. She doesn't need it. She just knows I say this when I want this. And when she doesn't know, you know what she does? Like a curious student should, she asks. And you know what? Every time she says, Daddy, how do you say this? I always answer, and then I say, thanks for asking. You know, and I reward her for her curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat, they say. Poor cat. Sorry. I love cats, but sorry. Sorry, cats. All right, amigos, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is both an honor and a pleasure to teach you English every day. And I thank you, not just for your participation, for listening to the podcast, for commenting, for downloading, but also for the amazing messages I get day after day, week after week. As you know, I don't use social media very much these days, but from time to time, I open it up and there I have an amazing message from one of you guys, and it makes my day. I'm serious when I say that. Look, I'm getting all choked up, me emociono. I'm having, you wake up, you're like, oh man, I'm tired, like everybody, and you're trying to get moving, and all of a sudden, Alberto, I love your show. You really inspire me. And then, you know what? I can't help it. No lo puedo evitar. A huge smile comes to my face. So thank you again for being the greatest students. And I'm not just saying that. I don't gain anything. No gano nada. I'm not trying to get anything from you. So this is sincere, straight up, as we say, straight up, la verdad, sincera. And I thank you not just for being great students, but for being awesome people as well. All right, my peeps, are you ready for our first section? It's the Say What Soundbite. Come on. Say what? Get up. What? Get up. All right, amigos, welcome to your Say What soundbite here. Also, a quick reminder, if you were ever considering signing up for one of our online courses, now's the time. You'll get a 60% discount on the Curso de Inglés online. You can get it for 39 euros and 60 cents. It's originally 99 euros, so you don't have to do the math. And then you've got the Curso de Inglés online advanced, which is normally 350. And now you can get it for 140 euros. This is only till the 31st of October, 2025. That's right. It's so good, it's scary. It's a special deal to die for. All right, I'll stop with the Halloween puns. So if you were ever considering it, now's the time. I mean, you're not going to get, I'll tell you this right now. I mean, I don't know the inner workings of how they price things or what they do in marketing. I stay out of that stuff. I do my stuff. But I don't know if you're ever going to get a discount that good. Not even here at Vaughn. I mean, anywhere. 60% off. Oh, my God. That is a steal. Un chollazo, as you say. Also, my amigos. What else did I want to tell you? I know I wanted to question of the week. That's right. Our question of the week this week is, what is your most used emoji and why? As always, I want you to expound on the idea. Also, I want to send a nice round of applause for the wonderful job you guys did last week. That's Alfonso, Anix, Cristina Chicago, Marisol, Turani, Nuria, Elena, and Chris Valrol. What can I say except keep it up? Seguida, see, it is. I am just blown away by how good you sound. And I know the average. I know the average spoken level in Spain. And you guys and gals are head and shoulders above the rest. Or another way to say it, a cut above. That means un peldaño o más por encima. So keep it up. Seguida así. You've already got a head start and you've got that magic ingredient, which is passion. You really feel it. And I feel it. I'm telling you, I feel it. And you guys, some days where I'm like, oh, I'm tired, like everybody, you have those days. And then I feel your energy and I've got to match it. So thank you for raising the bar, subiendo el listón. Hey, we're looking at a lot of great, totally native expressions already on the show. All right, well, you know how the Say What soundbite works. This is a part of the show where we hear a totally native soundbite. So this is a native person, usually. Sometimes it's Rafa Nadal, but, well, it's somebody using English in a certain situation, and you guys have to break it down, desglosarlo. Tell me what you heard, but impress me. Tell me in your best English. And if you're listening to the podcast and you're not participating live, fine. You can still do it. You can do all. In fact, the way I've designed the show is you can listen to this show in 6 years and still participate in all the different sections, even though it's a repeat. So the idea is, if you're not going to write it down, in fact, I prefer you say it aloud. Well, I heard a man talking about his frustration about, whatever it may be. And this is a really good exercise, even in our own language, finding information and being able to sum it up. I remember doing that all the time in school. The teachers would say, okay, well, what do you think a book report is? I don't know what you call it in Spanish. This is where you had to read a book and then write a summary. And more importantly, get up in front of the class and tell the class what the book was about. We call this a book report. And the final step is that, because one thing is writing it, because that helps you get your ideas down. And, okay, this is a book about the struggle between man versus nature, whatever, right? But then not only do you have to write it down, but you got to get up in front of the class and you got to defend your ideas. And that's what we do on our question of the week as well. Remember, I constantly want you to use your English. It's not enough to just jot it down in your notebook, because sometimes what I've noticed is it just stays in the notebook. So we've got to, hey, I understand if you want to write it down. I'm that kind of person. I need to write things down. And even when I write them down, I miss appointments. I'm quite a disaster. But, como decimos, a train wreck. Nosotros decimos un destrozo de tren, un accidente de tren, a train wreck. But the most important part isn't writing it down, it's saying it. It's vocalizing, it's saying whatever we're looking at, whether it's our homophones, our double or triple trouble of late, saying everything aloud and getting used to hearing it and saying it. And that'll make you a better communicator in any language. All right, well, here we go, folks. Here is your Say What soundbite. I want you to listen carefully. Also, I'm curious if you can place the accent. That's one thing I always like to know. Aside from what's going on, summing it up, if you recognize where this person hails from. This is a very fancy or formal way of saying de dónde viene. I imagine it's de dónde proviene, maybe. That could be a good way. Where the person hails from. All right, so here's your Say What soundbite for the first time.
In New York, there are millions of people, and the only person looking where she's going is me. I should write a manifesto, the title of which would be Pretend It's a City. It would take one subway ride for the Dalai Lama to turn into a lunatic, raging person.
Hey, honey, do you know when the next Vaughn Radio Trivia Night is?
Yeah, Daddy. It's on Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. And you're hosting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You're so forgetful, Daddy. What will you do without me?
You're absolutely right, honey. I am a bit absent-minded. Thanks for your help.
Don't mention it. Just mark your calendar. Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. We'll meet you at the Toast Tap Room.
Okay, so let me make sure I've got it. Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room, Calle San Vicente Ferrer, 33.
Yeah, you got it, Daddy. Be there or be square, amigos.
Excellent.
That's right, folks. It is almost time for our amazing Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, and I can't wait. I'm really, really excited because it's going to be tons of fun. Don't miss it if you are available on the 4th of November. That is a Tuesday. It's not this coming one. It's the following one. Así decimos el siguiente. No este, sino el siguiente. Not this one. The following Tuesday. It used to be on Wednesdays, but we've changed it to Tuesday night. So it's Tuesday, November 4th. It's at 8 p.m. and it's at the Toast Tap Room, and it's going to be a family affair, right? A family affair means everybody there is going to be like one big family. I know everybody that's going, and I can tell you it's going to be some of the people I am closest to, más cercano, including you guys, many of you who are listening right now who have confirmed you're going to be there. Richard Vaughn, my mentor, Rob and Andy, two of my best friends in the world. Kyle Miller never misses one. So we're just missing you. If you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, la expresión on the fence es indeciso, come, you will not regret it. No te arrepentirás. And aside from learning, you'll also have tons of fun. You'll play, and I guarantee, because it happens all the time, I guarantee you'll make new friends as well. And that's a hard thing to do once you get to a certain age. I mean, when you're in your 20s, well, you meet people all the time. You know, you're out and about. But when you're in your 40s, you know, you're not as social. I'm speaking in general. Some people come out of their shell as they get older, right? To come out of your shell is to be less shy, right? But I've never been shy. Sometimes it's hard to meet great friends later in life because, well, you have fewer social situations, and this is a perfect opportunity to meet other people who have something in common with you, or who knows, maybe a few different things aside from English. You never know. Who knows? Maybe you'll even meet a future lover. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, amigos. If that's not motivation to come, I don't know what is. All right, well, we've got a lot to do. So while you guys are thinking about the Say What soundbite, let me give you today's pop quiz. Get up. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Get up, get up, get up. I can't hear you. Let's go. Sing it with me. Pop quiz. Pop quiz, quiz, quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. Welcome to our pop quiz here on the show with no name. As always, we're going to take a look at one of the materials available at Vaughn Tienda. Remember, if you're looking for materials, you've got everything you could possibly need for self-study, and it's available at Vaughn Tienda. You can go in person if you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. But if not, you can always stop by our website. It's grupovaughn.com. Also, if you're not following us on social media, you might want to do that too, because you'll find out about these events. Sometimes we have open houses. You call them puertas abiertas, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we call it an open house. This means when we open our doors, invite you in, and you get like sample classes, and we have all kinds of activities. So if you want to know about all that stuff, just follow us, whatever platform you're on. If I'm not mistaken, again, I'm not on social media too much, but I think Vaughn is everywhere. Okay, I think they're on Instagram, Facebook, I think LinkedIn. So whatever social media platform you are using, you can go on over there and search for Grupo Vaughn, and you will find us. All right, amigos. Well, today we're going to take a look at something for Inglés para viajar. And I know what you're thinking. Viajar? Well, it's not summertime. Well, I'll tell you what, the busiest travel day in the United States, you know when it is? The busiest travel day in the United States is Thanksgiving. Yeah, at the end of November. It's a day where people travel all across the country to be with their families. So I figured we could take a look at this with Thanksgiving upon us, acercándose. Yeah, I know Halloween is first, but some of you, will somebody please tell the people in my neighborhood that Christmas is still a long way away? Like, we still got time. But this is from Inglés para Viajar. It's called Tu Pasaporte al Mundo Angloparlante. And does it come with audio? Of course it does. And we're going to listen to a little excerpt right now. So as always, I want you to listen carefully, because afterwards we'll extract some information. Here it is. This is an excerpt from Inglés para Viajar, available at vaughntienda.com.
Travel problem. Losing your luggage. Excuse me, we can't see our bag on carousel A13.
You can't see your bag there. How long have you been waiting?
We've been waiting half an hour.
And is this flight MF7256 from New York to Florida?
Yes, it is.
And what color is your bag, ma'am?
It's red.
And how big is your bag?
It's quite a big bag.
What type of bag is it?
I don't know how to describe it. It's big and red.
Is it a backpack?
No, it isn't.
Does it have wheels?
Yes, it does.
Is it a duffel bag?
What's a duffel bag?
I mean, is it hard or soft? Duffel bags are usually soft.
Oh no, it's hard.
Okay, let's check over here in oversized baggage. Sometimes they send bigger luggage over here.
Oh, look, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy your stay in Florida.
Key vocabulary for trains and buses.
Trenes y autobuses.
Ticket booth.
Ventanilla.
Stop.
Parada.
Station.
Estación.
Line.
Cola.
On board.
A bordo.
Ticket.
Billete.
Public transportation.
Transporte público.
Coach.
Autobús de larga distancia.
Car rental.
Alquiler de coches.
To get on.
Subir.
To get off.
Bajar.
Key phrases for public transportation.
Súbete ya. ¿Dónde puedo comprar un billete?
Where can I buy my ticket?
¿Tengo que comprar el billete online?
Do I have to get my ticket online?
¿Puedo elegir mi asiento?
Can I choose my seat?
¿Aceptan billetes grandes?
Do you take large bills?
¿Dónde está la estación de autobuses de larga distancia?
Which way is it to the coach station?
¿Cuánto queda hasta mi parada?
How long is it until my stop?
¿Es esta la cola para el autobús hacia el centro de la ciudad?
Is this the line for the bus to the city center?
¿Cuánto cuesta si alquilo un coche?
How much is it if I rent a car?
¿Cuál es la mejor forma para llegar?
What's the best way to get there?
¿Dónde me tengo que bajar?
Where do I have to get off?
All right, some really good vocabulary. And unless you don't like traveling, well, you'll never use that. But if you're like me and you travel any opportunity you get, well, then this is something that you guys are definitely going to use. So let's take a look at these words here. Now, first, let me give you the challenge because we've got to go to a commercial break, and then we'll highlight some of the vocabulary, a couple things that I wanted to point out that are worth mentioning. Now, the first one, they didn't really mention it, but they were talking about it, and this is objetos perdidos. Do you know, this is the reason I wrote the book, English Everywhere, because I realized nobody knew how to say objetos perdidos. And I feel like this is such an important thing to know, more important than my tailor is rich and my mother is in the kitchen, right? I mean, okay, when are you going to use that? But objetos perdidos? Well, you never know. You know how many times luggage gets lost, right? We don't say, we miss our plane, they lose our luggage. Los dos son perder, right? Pero uno es perder, no llegar, y otro es perder, traspapelar, ese, like to misplace. So the first one, ask me, use it in context. ¿Cómo dirías? In a very polite way, ¿me podría dirigir a tal? ¿Sabría usted por casualidad dónde está objetos perdidos? Remember, the more polite you are, the better you're gonna get that answer, the clearer, right? Remember this, you never go up to somebody and say, where's the subway? That's rude. Excuse me, sir, do you know where the subway is? Now we're talking. Ahora sí. All right, so the first one, use objetos perdidos in a way that you would use it. You hope you never have to use it, but it's good to know it if you need it. The next one, I know we've looked at this one before, and this is rumbo o con dirección. Remember, we looked at this, I think, a few times. Esto es, if you've been on the New York City subway, then you know this is a Brooklyn train. Con dirección a, rumbo a. Okay, that's number 2. And the third one, zona de recogida de equipajes. Another thing you'll need if you're at the airport, right? So there you go, folks. Some very practical vocabulary today. The first one, objetos perdidos. The second one, rumbo o con dirección. And the third one is zona de recogida de equipajes. Remember to use it in context. We'll be right back with part 2 of today's show. So stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. I see we've got a lot of students participating. That's awesome. I applaud your energy, your drive, tu motivación. Doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. You're here giving it your all. And don't forget, you can give it your all with all my amigos here on Vaughn Radio, because right after today's show, you can learn to speak with confidence with Ale. Then you get a dose of real English with Rob Grams and the Lunchtime Show. You've got Ruby as she guides you through the English language with her soothing voice. And speaking of soothing voices, right after Ruby, you've got Jules Linares. And let's get random. And then, I don't know if his voice is soothing, but he can go anywhere with that voice. I'm talking about Dave Boys and the Salad, a multifaceted man, gifted, con talento, a lot of talent, not just as a speaker, as an imitator, radio presenter, but also as a musician. And after that, you've got Kyle Miller. He means business. Kyle va en serio in his program, Drive Time. And then you can wrap up your day with Chris Frank in Frankly Speaking. Oh, yeah. And don't forget about Richard Vaughn Live. How could you? And Richard has a new podcast, which you can get exclusively on iVox, Evox, however you want to call it. If you use iVox, go on over there and punch in Vaughan Inglés 4.0, and you can learn English with Richard Vaughn, the man himself. You've also got Jessica Fernandez and the Hour to Empower, the Probo Show with Rob Grams. And right before this show, you've got Fitz and No Excuses. All right, folks, let's listen to our Say What soundbite for the second time, and then we'll check your observations and also your pop quiz answers. Is everybody ready? Here it is for the second time.
In New York, there are millions of people, and the only person looking where she's going is me. I should write a manifesto, the title of which would be Pretend It's a City. It would take one subway ride for the Dalai Lama to turn into a lunatic, raging person.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. Oh, yeah, folks. If you don't have my latest, greatest book, This Book is the Shit, you can also pick it up at Von Tienda, where we're looking at today another amazing material, Inglés para Viajar, written by Victor. You know something? Victor ended up working at Von. I started working there first, and then I met Victor, who started working in the materials and publishing department. And we started talking. Oh, yeah, you're from New York? Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Where did you live? And he said, on 28th Street. And I said, wait, continue. And he said, 28th, between 8th and 9th. And I said, you mean the houses there, the apartments with the park and the gazebo? And the gazebo is like these plataformas estas que están en, I always forget this word in Spanish. And he was like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, I hung out in front of your house all the time. Kiosco, pabellón de estos, you know, where their band sometimes plays. And it was amazing because that doesn't happen in New York. Like you can meet somebody, oh yeah, I live in the Bronx. I live out in Brooklyn. This guy lived 1 block, less than a block from my house. I literally had to cross 8th Avenue, and that's where Victor lived. And we both ended up at the same company in Madrid. You want to talk about serendipity? Jeez Louise. How do you say serendipity? That's a funny word too. Serendipity. Serendipia. Casualidad. Carambola. Carambola sounds like a dance. Carambola. Vamos con la carambola. La carambola. Chiripa. Chamba. Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, it's an instance of good luck. You can't plan something like that. All right, amigos. Also, I want to send a shout out to Jesus. As I told you guys, I get tons of messages, even though I don't use social media. Every time I open it up, just to see, make sure. A lot of times I have to, all right, I'm lying. I use social media, but I use my B account. which is Spain Coaster Geek. Because instead of, I don't want to hear about English stuff, and I don't want to hear about like, cinco cosas que haces mal. Sick of that stuff. I just want to see roller coasters and planes. So I have an account just for that. So if you like roller coasters, some of you follow me there. That account I use. But occasionally I check Twitter because, well, I want to make sure I'm reading your messages, but I don't post very much on the Alberto Alonso accounts. Maybe I will in the future, but right now I'd rather go to the gym. I'd rather read a book or something like that. And Jesus says, oigo el show with no name, aprendo inglés y es muy entretenido. Me gusta mucho su música. ¿Podrías contestar diciendo los grupos o cantantes de rock que sueles poner? Gracias por adelantado, thanks in advance, y espero que sigas dirigiendo el mejor programa de inglés en España. What can I say except thank you, Jesus? And I'm not sure what I'll answer you here on Twitter or X, but I'm not sure what music you're talking about. If you're talking about the jingles, well, those are kind of, it's royalty-free music. And then we end up mixing it and editing different sounds into it. But if you're talking about the ones we look at in Name That Lyric, I usually say the name of the group and the name of the song. But thank you, Jesus, and all of you who take the time to write me these lovely messages. It's amazing. Again, it's my fuel. When I'm like, like everybody, you have a day where you're just not feeling it. You're down in the dumps, de bajón. And then I get a message from you guys, and I know everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right now. Everything's gonna be all right. And thank you, because it's amazing. It really is. And, companies don't tell you how well you're doing either, right? Because if your company says, hey, Alberto, you're doing a great job, you know what you do next? You put your hand out and you say, okay, pay me more, right? Give me a raise. So a lot of times, even if they think you're doing well, they won't tell you because, well, that might imply, giving you a raise. God forbid, God forbid. So thank you for giving me that feedback that I think we often need as people, no matter what you're doing, whether you're, raising kids or bowling, haciendo los bolos. It's great to get some feedback from time to time and know that what you're doing is affecting people in a good way in most cases. Some people, will write to me and say, I don't like the show. But then I say to them, like, why are you listening? Like, if I don't like Buenafuente, I'm using him as an example. I've never even watched him. Well, the last thing I would do is watch him, right? If I don't like, football, I'm not going to turn it on or even talk about it, right? So that I never understood. People, but again, I don't get those messages. I, in fact, very rarely get negative messages. But it's amazing. It's amazing because I think that's one of the things that makes my job awesome. I have direct contact with the people that I create this show for. Yeah, I create it for Vaughn. I do it. It's on Vaughn Radio. But really, who am I thinking of when I do the script? Who am I thinking of when I write my books? You guys. You're always in my mind thinking, les va a gustar esto. Esto es demasiado difícil. Esto es demasiado chupao. As you say, fácil, right? Hey, totally native. Chupao, eh? Está chupao. I know it's chupado. But I know also that people say chupao. Está chupao. It sucked. All right. So thank you, my amigos. And let's go on over to our pop quiz here. Now, we looked at some really good vocabulary in there with Victor. And one of them was duffel bag. Y voy a mirar yo cómo se dice esto en español. It's this typical bag that you would bring to the gym. You know what I mean? It's a bolso marinero. Oh, see, I never knew that. Morral, bolso de lona, bolso marinero, a duffel bag. If you don't know what it is, the best way when you're like, espera, no me suena bolso marinero, pon duffel bag in Google Images y voila, ahí tendrás 20,000 imágenes de lo que es un duffel bag. So that was one that we heard, because I know, you know, suitcase, maybe briefcase. A briefcase is maletín. Luggage, baggage, that's the whole thing. That's the category. Carry on. Well, a duffel bag, that's another way. People bring a duffel bag, a backpack, or as the British say, a rucksack. They call it a rucksack. We call it a backpack. Makes sense, right? It goes on your back and it's a pack. Also, we looked at the word coach. Coach is how you say a nice bus. You know, those comfortable buses that usually go long distances. But you know what we call them in the United States? Greyhound. Yeah, Greyhound? You mean like the dog? Greyhound? Un sabueso gris? Is that how you say it? Eso es la traducción literal. Let's see, Greyhound. Greyhound, galgo. Oh, okay, Greyhound. Ahí está. Pues mira, aquí pone autobús. Autobús de larga distancia. Why? Because it's the most popular brand in the United States of buses. They go across country, and you'll hear it in songs. Gonna catch a Greyhound. That means a big, comfortable bus that goes long distances. So just so you know, you can say coach. Also, the word coach is entrenador. Right? Shout out to Sabi Alonso, my cousin. And also coach, that could be a triple trouble here. Coach is also in economy class. He always flies coach, right? Eso es en clase economía, no va en primera clase or in business. Coach. Just don't mix the words up, couch and coach. I had somebody tell me, Alberto, I was in the coach last night. I'm like, ouch. Estabas dentro del entrenador. That's too much information right there for me, you know? Whoa. And then I said, you mean you were on the couch? Ah, okay, all right. As long as you weren't with the coach, okay? We also looked at something we looked at last week, to hire or to rent. The British say, we're going to hire a car. Eso es contratar en inglés americano. We say we're going to rent a car. We also looked at get on and get off. Esto es bajarse y subirse. We use it with buses. We use it with planes. We use it with trains. We also use it with rides, atracciones. He got on the roller coaster. He got off the Ferris wheel. La noria, okay? On a plane, too, we can say to board, right? Embarcar. And you know how we say to desembarcar? You're going to love this one. To disembark. Yeah, hemos cambiado. También you can say to deplane. Me gusta ese, de avionar. To deplane. All right, so just a couple things I wanted to point out. Now let's see if you guys were able to fill in the blanks with our challenges. Let's see who's with us, ready to rock and roll. There's Chris Valrol. Front row center, como decimos, primera fila, lista para acción. She says, morning, awesome show with no namers. Morning, Chris. Great to have you with us. Born to Iron Man, another shining example. And he says, morning, AA, Chris, and the rest of my outstanding mates. Great to read both of your names. Oh, and speaking of, there's lovely Laura. What's up, Laura? She says, good morning, lovely show with no namers. Let's kickstart the week in the best possible way with our wonderful teacher, AA. Awesome, Laura. Great to have you with us. Excellent. What a great crew we've got in the house today. Let's see. Laura's also got something to say about our Say What soundbite. This is one of your favorite sections, Laura. Well, it's one of the ones you do really well at. So let's see. I don't know if it's one of your favorite, but you're damn good at it. All right. She says, I heard an excerpt from a movie in which the main character, a man whose accent I haven't pinpointed yet, is complaining about the erratic way people walk in New York City. Nailed it. The only thing is it's not a man. It's a woman with a manly voice. I'll give you that. So this woman has a manly voice. Okay. So don't worry. If you don't see her, you'd think it's a man, right? Well, some guys sound like this, like Mickey Mouse, right? And some girls sound like this. Hey, it's part of life. You know, you don't choose the voice that you're born with. So, yes. And I'll give you a clue here. It's not a movie. It's a documentary. It's a documentary. And yes, she is the main character in this documentary. And since you said that she's talking about the way people walk or don't know how to walk in New York City, well, you nailed the accent there too. She's from New York. She's got a New York accent there. Okay. And great. I think you filled in the blanks really well, Laura. Excellent job. Let's see. Chris says, I heard a man. She fooled all of you. Os ha engañado a todos ella. I heard a man. I can't tell where she hails from. Chris. Te lo acabo de enseñar y lo acabas de usar. ¿De dónde proviene? Más poético que decir where she's from, where she hails from. She hails from New York, New York. The city so nice, they named it twice. And she says she's talking about a city, the city. You know, in the New York area, that means New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We call that the tri-state area. We don't call it New York City. We call it the city. I'm going to the city. Like there are no other cities. Seriously. Nobody calls it New York City because if you say the city, it's that one that you're going to. You're not going to say that and go to Philly. So great. And she says she's the only one that was looking among millions of people, but I don't know what. Well, the only one who's paying attention. So yes. In fact, in New York, I think you guys know. You know how we can tell who the tourists are? Easy. The ones looking up. Well, the ones who are stopped in the center of the sidewalk, parados en medio de la acera, because you don't do that, because people are just, you don't. You step off to the side if you want to stop. It's okay to stop, just not in the middle, right? But we always know because they are people who are looking up, awestruck, en asombro, awestruck, like, oh, wow. I get it, but we know. We've got your number. Os tenemos calados. They're looking up with their mouths wide open like, whoa. Okay, yeah. Skyscrapers are quite impressive. So excellent job, ladies. Let's see. Chris Valrol is also participating in our pop quiz. And she says his suitcase was in the lost and found. Excellent. Lost and found. Objetos perdidos. O sea, perdido e encontrado. Okay. So his suitcase was in the lost and found. Well, he's lucky. It's not always that way. My wife still has a suitcase that's MIA from 10 years ago. Missing in action. I mean, she's given up now, but MIA, missing in action, perdido en combate. She'll never see it again. In fact, she's given up, as I said. Se ha dado por vencida. Let's see. The next one, she says, the boy was heading towards his house. Excellent. Rumbo a, se iba para. No era el que buscaba, pero me vale. Muy nativo el heading to. The boy was heading towards his house. Se iba dirección a su casa. He hit the roof. To hit the roof is to get really angry. When he saw that his suitcase was not in the baggage claim area. Excellent job. The baggage claim. Eso es. Baggage claim is zona de recogida de equipajes. All right, great job, Grace, knocking it out of the park. Let's see, Laura. Laura says, would you be so kind as to tell me where the lost and found is, please? You are extremely polite, Laura, and I would love to tell you. I don't know why I turned British there, but, you know, we associate politeness with Brits, right? For some reason, I put on my British voice every time I want to be polite. Hey, Americans are polite too, in general. All right, excellent. The next one, she says, you're on the Brooklyn-bound train. Esa es la que buscaba, Brooklyn-bound. So, cuando pones bound detrás de cualquier cosa, significa con dirección a, con rumbo a. And if we're going to say it like they say it on the New York City subway, this is a Brooklyn-bound A train. Next stop. That's the PA system, the public address system on the New York City subway. You'd think a very high-tech, city from the future, and you can't hear any of the announcements on the subway. Well, you can hear them, you just can't make heads or tails of them. To make heads or tails, no puedes descifrarlo. You can't make heads or tail of them. So this is a Brooklyn-bound A train. Excellent. And the next one, she says, I'll pop to the bathroom. I'll pop into the bathroom and then meet you at the baggage claim. Good idea. Yeah, hey, you know what it's like. Once you're on the plane, going to the bathroom. Well, first, I'm claustrophobic, so I don't even like using bathrooms on the plane. So I hold it. But the moment we get to our gate, nuestra puerta, I am the first one to find that bathroom. Oh, yeah, that's an important thing. Strategically going to the bathroom when you're traveling. Great job, Chris and Laura. There's German. He says, hey, girls. Hey, boys. Superstar DJs. Here we go. What's up, our man of a million words? All right, let's see. We've got Born to Iron Man participating as well. Let's see. He says, would you mind telling us where Lost and Found? Ponemos el the, solo ponemos, nos falta el artículo ahí. Would you mind telling us where the Lost and Found is? Piénsalo como el departamento, the Lost and Found department. Great. He says, this is the bus heading for Tres Cantos. Great. Or it's a Tres Cantos bound bus, right? Bound is atado a. Viene, no, está atado a, si lo piensas. And the last one, excuse me, sir. There goes my British again, being polite. Excuse me, sir. Could you tell me where the baggage claim area is, please? Lovely. Excellent job. Chris says we call it una bolsa de deporte. Yes, in Spain. But I guess in other parts, they call it duffel. There are many words here. Let's see, duffel bag. Ahora no lo tengo. Where's duffel bag? Ya no acabo de tener aquí. Duffel bag, bolso de viaje in Argentina, which makes sense as well. Yeah, but I would say it's más de deporte, like a gym bag. Yeah, I would say another way to say a duffel bag is a gym bag. So good. Thank you, Chris. That's the Castilian way. And I've just made a mental note. Let's see. Laura says, of course, that's why she says she. She's talking about herself. Yeah, that's right. And it's a great documentary, by the way. I'll give you a clue. Marty Scorsese is involved in this one. Scorsese, yeah, the one and only. All right. All right. Well, folks, I can't believe it, but we have got to go to a quick commercial break right now. We'll be right back with the second half of today's show. So stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back, my amigos. This is the second half of today's show. It's the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to tell your friends there's a fun, free way to learn English, and it's called Vaughn Radio. And if not, well, it's our little secret. Because you never know. You might be up against that person for a job, and you'll get it if it has to do with English. If it's a multinational company, you're in. I'd hire you. Just based on your English, never mind your skills that you may have. But I never realized it
When I was studying, I never realized the power of languages, the power that languages have to open doors, and not just professionally, meeting new people. I see it with my daughter. We go to London. She talks to people. She meets friends. We go to Gran Canaria. She talks to everybody, even Russian kids. There were some Russian girls that spoke a little English, and she was able to make friends with Russian girls. Obviously, they weren't Russian when they were talking. No iba con prisa. Okay, never mind. So it'll open up many, many doors aside from the professional ones. And who doesn't want to meet cool peeps? That's why I highly recommend you come to our upcoming Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, November 4th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. Well, we're kicking off at 8, so if you get there at 8, we'll find a spot for you. We are going to pack the place. Lo vamos a petar, llenar. All right, amigos, let's kick things off with a little challenge called, sing it with me, Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And as always, we're going to look at some words that are quite tricky here. And we'll see if you guys can figure out these words. I know you know the first one, but be careful with the pronunciation here, because here it's not just about knowing the words, but it's also about knowing the way they sound. All right, so the first word is a word that I love to hear, especially on a Friday. And that word is cerveza. Oh, yeah. Go easy. Don't abuse it, folks. That's no fun. Nobody likes a drunkard. A nadie le gusta un borracho, right? But if you have a beer or two with your friends, I just said the word. Were you paying attention? Either way, I don't think that word's going to give you too much difficulty because, as I said, it's almost a universal word, right? It's one of those words that almost everybody is familiar with. Now, a lot of my students mix it up with barba, pájaro, cerveza, right? Okay, the second word is andas, féretro. Is that how you say it? Ataúd. Okay, now what is this? This is the coffin, or the casket is the box. And this is the thing that goes under it. So it's like a stand, okay? It's got wheels usually, and it's like a stand, como un estante donde pones the coffin or the casket. You can use either one of those words. And coffin is a homophone for why? Because Americans don't say, I'm coughing. We say, I've been coughing. I think I'm allergic to that coffin. So yes, in American English, those are homophones. All right, but I'm looking at the word cerveza. And that second word, me está costando aquí decir la primera versión. Bueno, no, andas, it says. Okay. Féretro. I don't know. El acento está en la E ahí. Okay. Ataúd. All right. I'll give you it in context. The coffin was resting on the okay, for burial, para el entierro. Okay, antes del entierro. All right. So those are your two words. The first one is one I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with. And the second one, well, if you didn't know it, you will know it after we are done with this section. So it is the thing with wheels that goes under the coffin. You know, the coffin is usually placed on something. And this way, when we're done with the wake,
The wake is el velatorio, I believe. Let's see, wake. The wake is, velatorio. This is the funeral is when they bury the person. The wake is when you go and pay your last respects to the family. And sometimes they have a closed casket or sometimes it's open. I mean, if you got your face shot off, you're a gangster or something, it's going to be a closed casket, right? Okay, so those are your two words. As I said, I think many of you are familiar with the first one. The second one, I'm not too sure, but we'll take a look in just a second. Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you for the third time, and we'll see if somebody gets closer to getting it all down. Here it goes.
In New York, there are millions of people, and the only person looking where she's going is me. I should write a manifesto, the title of which would be Pretend It's a City. It would take one subway ride for the Dalai Lama to turn into a lunatic, raging person.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughan Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughan Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovon.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughan Town. More information about Vaughan Town, you can follow us on social media and reach out. Reach out is another way of saying contactar. Reach out. We would love to give you more information about Vaughan Town or any of the initiatives we have at Vaughan. And remember, we're always doing new things. Every year, we're releasing new resources, new materials, new courses. We have new centers opening. So I recommend you guys follow us on social media. And of course, if you're not signed up for our free newsletter, you can do that as well. In fact, you know where I found out about the special deals? Nobody told me. Nobody said, hey, Alberto, we got some special deals. But also, I like to know what's going on myself. Why? Well, I don't need English classes, but this way I can tell you guys. I can share it with you and say, hey, guys, 60% discount. Do it now, and give you that inside information. But you can go straight to the source. As we say, you can get it straight from the horse's mouth, directamente de la fuente. Go over to grupovon.com and wherever it says apúntate, sign up. And you can sign up for our free newsletter. I don't know if it comes out every week or every 2 weeks. I don't pay attention too much. But every time I see something that I think could interest you guys, I share it with you. So hopefully some of you will take advantage of this amazing 60% discount right now on some of our online courses. All right, now let's go on over here to our chat room and see what we've got for today's homophones. The first person to participate is Laura. Laura, you're on fire today, or as we say, you're on a roll. Estás en racha. Let's see if we can keep it going. She gives us the two correct words, and she says they sound alike, I think. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man gives us the two correct words as well. And he says they sound alike. Germán agrees, and Chris va al rol as well. All right. Well, why don't I just read Germán's sentence here? Germán says, don't put your beer on the beer. Do they sound the same? Listen carefully. Don't put your beer on the beer. It's disrespectful. Yes. In fact, isn't the word beer in German B-I-E-R? ¿Cómo se escribe en alemán? Creo que es como ataúd, right? So that's pretty crazy. And you're like, wait, what are we talking about here? I just wanted a beer. Okay, it's time to die, my friend. I don't think that was a German accent. I think that was more Transylvania. Well, all right. So yes, beer sounds exactly like B-I-E-R. B-E-E-R. So excellent job, folks. All right. Next question. How do you say barba? Dilo en voz alta. You don't have to put it. I don't want to see it spelled. I want to hear it. Well, I can't hear it, but I'll trust you. And let's see. So the word barba. I remember I had a student to say, Alberto, he has a barb. I said, me encanta, pero no. He has a barb. I'm like, barb, like Barbara? So, all right, that word then is beard. Beard. An easy way to remember it is if you drink your beer too fast, you'll get some in your beard. O sea, es el mismo sonido que cerveza, añadiendo un sonido de ahí al final. If you drink your beer too fast, you're going to get some on your beard. Okay? So there's an easy way to associate those two. All right, next one. And again, I don't want you to write it. I want you to say it. Pájaro. How do we say pájaro? Okay, pájaro is bird, bird, bird. And the bird is the word bird, bird, bird. Fija, quiero que desde ahora para adelante, cuando veas la palabra B-I-R-D, que pones la I en inglés, que es una E, right? I es E en inglés. Ahora, di esta palabra, B-E-R-D, bird. A que lo vas a decir bien si en tu cabeza no dejas de ver esa E en vez de esa I latina. All right? Bird. And the last one, oso. But you know what? In oso right now, we're going to do a double homophone here. Oso, I want you to give me a homophone. So tell me, sounds like oso. All right? Let's see. Let's see if you know it. Hopefully you won't have to think too much. But yes, bird doesn't have a homophone as far as I know. Neither does beard. Beer does. We just looked at it. But oso? What word sounds like oso in English? También oso o soportar, aguantar, right? También es parir. My mother, porque es bore, born. My mother bore 2 children, right? Parió. So, to be born es ser parido, si lo piensas. So, so el oso va a parir. The is going to, those are the words we're looking for. Do you know them? All right, Born to Iron Man gives us the word. Do I know you know what it means? I don't know. If you just give me the word, that doesn't tell me you know it, what it means. All right, we'll give it to you, but you know how I feel about one-word answers. No. Hey, te doy otra palabra. No. All right. Yes, the word is bare, which means naked. So it's an easy way to remember it, isn't it? The bear was bare. Well, they don't wear clothes, do they? And I can't bear to see a bear. I can't bear, la primera es B-E-A-R. To see a bear, B-A-R-E, bear, B-E-A-R. O sea, es oso, bueno, oso soportar, el otro que es bare, y luego oso soportar otra vez. So I can't bear to see a bear. And you know it from, you've got the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Who sings that? The bear. And what is he saying? Lo esencial, the bear, crudo, right? So it's not solo desnudo, pero también pelado, sin nada, right? Básico, simple, esencial. That's the idea behind it. It's not just en pelotas, right? And de hecho, One of my favorite ways to walk around is barefoot. I don't like wearing shoes, honestly. I hate shoes. I like to be barefoot. ¿Qué? ¿Con pies de oso? No. Pero sé que hay un chiste. No me acuerdo ahora, but there is. How does the bear like to walk around? Well, barefoot. So barefoot means sin zapatos, sin calcetines. Okay. Chris says bear sounds like bear. Chris says barefoot shoes. Yeah, that's a brand. Muy bien, Chris Valrol. Born to Iron Man says bear and bear sound alike. German, here he goes playing with words. Let's see where he takes us. He says that woman bore 2 boys. One of them is such a bore. Excellent. All right. Seguimos. Rizando el rizo. Bore, que es el pasado de bear. My mother bore 2 children. A bore es un aburrimiento sustantivo. What word sounds like bore? Oh, now we're really mixing things up here. So, B-O-R-E, que es un aburrimiento, o el pasado simple de parir, o sea, parió. What word sounds like that? And I can give you a sentence with it. Well, I'll let you give me a sentence with it. In fact, it's an animal that's pretty famous. I can give you a clue. It's an animal that is pretty famous in Spain. Okay? So, B-O-R-E is a homophone as well. We're getting 3 homophones today for the price of 1. Anyone? I'll give you another couple seconds, and then if not, I'll give it to you. It's a wild animal. It's definitely a wild animal, and it's a good way to remember it, maybe. All right, anybody? I'll give you another 10 seconds, and then we've got to move on, though. All right, Born to Iron Man gives us the word. Do I know you know what it means? No, but that's all right. That is the word. The boar bore a boar. So boar, B-O-A-R, is jabalí. It's a wild pig. Okay, a boar, B-O-A-R. So B-O-A-R sounds like B-O-R-E. That boar, well, imposible, no? Un cerdo macho, un jabalí. No, well, I guess, jabalí can be a girl too. Okay, so that, and sometimes you can say wild boar. You can say wild boar or boar. So that boar bore a boar. Wow, that is really mixing things up. Guys, excellent job. We looked at 3 sets of homophones. And right now it's time for our news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right, amigos, it is time for our news report. And with Halloween right around the corner, we're going to take a look at a story I call Black Cat Ban. What does that mean? That means prohibición de gatos negros. And this story takes us to Spain. What? Yeah, well, sometimes we go to Florida. In fact, we go to Florida a lot. Thank you, Florida, for giving me so many stories for the news report. Florida and the American South in general. But today we are going to a place called, I've never been, but I've heard of it, Terraza. Did I say it right? Terraza? It sounds like a Latin American person pronouncing terraza, right? Vamos a la terraza. Usted. I love when they call a little kid usted. Hey, it's respectful. Usted qué quiere comer? And I'm like, he's 3 years old. Wow, that's very, no vamos a tutearle todavía. All right, so as you know, black cats, Halloween, my cat is excited. He is in his element, in su salsa. But Also, black cats have long been stigmatized for bringing bad luck. They even link them with witches and the occult, black magic. And well, a Spanish town, Terrassa, has temporarily banned the adoption of black cats to ward off, this is a great word for the holidays. They ward off spirits. Well, to ward off, W-A-R-D, repeler, ahuyentar, mantener, a raya, conjurar, okay, to ward off. And they have decided to ward off these potentially sinister Halloween rituals. Now, I don't even want to think about someone hurting an animal. And if the government has to get involved because it's a thing, we got a serious problem, Terrassa or wherever, any place that's doing this. So any adoption or fostering request, to foster es acoger, for black felines, sound familiar, feline, will be denied from October 1st to November 10th. After that, do what you want. No, I'm joking. But they said, and I quote, due to possible risk derived from superstitions, rituals, or irresponsible uses. I'll tell you this, you touch my cat, I'll break every bone in your body. Just a warning. Any of those kids, those punk kids, punk is, what's the word punk? It's not punky. Punk is, I forget the word. He's a punk. He's a gamberro. That's the word. Any of these punk kids come near my cat, I will break all 206. Is that how many bones you have in your body? So yeah, due to the arrival of the Halloween period, these animal protection places, these shelters, right? Well, they noticed that there is a huge boom in black cat adoptions or people fostering black cats. And they don't think that people are doing it for the right reasons. They think they're using them for rituals or as decoration because it's cool to have a black cat for Halloween. I don't think it's cool. And so the town hall or city hall, esto es el ayuntamiento local, the town hall or the city hall said they could not look the other way. That is hacer la vista gorda. And they had to deal with this head on, de frente. So they said that a lot of animal welfare groups have brought attention to cats being hurt, even killed, and used as props during Halloween rituals. Now, here's my question. What kind of sick fuck would hurt an animal for a laugh? Sadly, there are documentaries about this. Did you see the documentary, Don't Fuck with Cats? It's awesome. It's not easy to watch because this kid not only fucks with cats, but with humans too, for YouTube views. And they said any exceptions will be duly justified and assessed, valorados, by the technical team at the shelter. The shelter is el centro de acogida. And, yeah, well, hey, if this is really a problem, I think it's a good measure. The fact that, though, that, you know, this is really a problem makes me sick to my stomach. Whether it's a cat, a dog, or any creature, you know. So they said that the normal adoption and fostering process will resume after Halloween. But they are not ruling out a similar ban in the future. And according to the figures I have here, Terrassa is home to more than 9,800 cats. But no black ones, not during Halloween. Folks, we have got to go to a quick commercial break. I can't believe it. We've only got one part of the show left, so we've got so much to do in that part. So, stick around. Welcome back, my amigos. Welcome back. This is part 4. I can't believe it. Our morning just flies by. Well, mine does, thanks to you guys. I love doing the show. I love the live participation. I mean, that's one of the greatest things. This show, what you hear is happening live. And as many of you know, in the last few years, I produced the show as well. Well, technically, right? As you know, I fade in, fade out. You know this vocabulary? To fade in, subir el volumen poco a poco. To fade out, bajarlo poco a poco. Add the sound effects. And remember this, I am a male, soy varón. And I'm doing a couple different things at the same time. So naturally, I will fuck up from time to time. It's par for the course. Don't forget to tune in, though, after today's show, and you can learn to speak with confidence with Ali. Also, don't forget about our special deals going on. 60% off some of our online courses. Follow us on social media for more information. And mark your calendars for November 4th for our Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. It's going to be a blast. I'm telling you, if you miss it, you're going to regret it forever and ever. All right, amigos, are you ready for another challenge? Great. Well, let's kick things off with our double trouble. Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. Come on. Double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. That's right, my amigos. It is double trouble here. And guess what? Today it really is a double trouble. No joke. It really is. I know lately I've been giving you triple troubles, but today it's a double trouble, and we'll see how you do. Now, I don't think it's going to be too easy, but somebody's going to get it. Maybe I'd say 2 or 3 of you will be able to figure it out. All right, here we go. Esto no es eso. Okay, I'm very specific here, porque si no sabemos la diferencia entre esto y eso, tenemos que volver a la página 1. So, esto, aquí mismo, a esto no es una fábrica común y corriente. Okay, esto no es una fábrica común o corriente. Now, the word is also molino, pero piensa las antiguas fábricas que tenían para darles energía. Right? To give them energy, to give them power, electricidad, right? Or, well, they had a molino, right? Molinillo. Just think of that because it's linked. Okay? So, fábrica is the word. We looked at another way to say this too. We looked at the word plant last week. So you're going to learn all the different ways to say fábrica in English. And this is a great adjective today. Común y corriente. Nada especial. Ordinario. Okay? So let me give it to you again just to make sure we've got it. Esto no es una fábrica común y corriente. That is your double trouble. Good luck, my amigos. We'll see if you can figure it out. Also, let me give you our Say What soundbite. Here it is for the 4th and final time. We'll see if someone can get this. It's a little bit tough. There are a few words in there that are tough. But hey, if you can't get it all, do your best. And then we'll fill in the blanks afterwards.
In New York, there are millions of people, and the only person looking where she's going is me. I should write a manifesto, the title of which would be Pretend It's a City. It would take one subway ride for the Dalai Lama to turn into a lunatic, raging person.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. You're chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip. Sorber.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. You can pick up This Book is the Shit at vontienda.com. If you don't have it, it's awesome. I'm telling you, not because I wrote it, not because it's my fifth book, so it wasn't my first rodeo. You know this expression, que ya tengo experiencia con esto. This isn't my first rodeo, means esto, sé lo que es esto, right? No es mi primera vez. So if you haven't picked it up, pick it up. Again, it's not even, don't worry, I'm not going to get a lot of money from it. I think more because it's worth its weight in gold. I don't know how much it is even, para que veas. I don't even know how much the thing costs, but I know that it's chock full of really cool, real English, and you've got a lot of drawings and humor to help you associate it. And this way, you never, ever forget that vocabulary. All right, let's see. Laura says, Terrassa is near Barcelona. I was there last Thursday and Friday. Serendipity. Ah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never been there. I've been to Salou. Is that how you say it? Salou? That, you know why I've been there, right? Portaventura, right? You guys know me. I'm a thuzy. Thuzy comes from the word enthusiast. And in the theme park community, that's what they call us, thuzies. So yes, I've been, is it anywhere near Portaventura, Salou, that area? I've been to that part. I've also been to Barcelona, obviously, and a place I really loved, Girona or Gerona, whatever you want to call it. I love that place. I really, really enjoyed it there. Gorgeous, gorgeous place. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol says, yeah, Terrassa is the city where I studied my degree. Oh, you got your degree there. She says, relatively near from, seen it from, relatively near my home. Awesome. You can say close to or near, pero el near no coge nada. Near my home. Excellent. 12 kilometers, kind of. All right. Awesome. Well, then maybe you guys, so you guys, Laura, you were right by Chris's house. I hope you guys met up. That would have been cool. Well, I know you're going to meet up at the trivia night. I hope, Laura, you better be coming. Well, maybe you're out of town. A lo mejor no estás en Madrid. I hate it when people say it like that. Digo, Madrid, ¿dónde está la Z? Where? All right, let's see. German is taking a stab at today's double trouble. Let's see if he got it. He says, this is not your run-of-the-mill mill. Ladies and gentlemen, yes! Wow! This is not your run-of-the-mill mill. So we looked at plant, factory. Well, a mill is another way to say a factory. And again, it comes from a mill or a windmill. A windmill es el que le empuja el viento, naturalmente. But it can also be, there's water. You know, those mills that run with water. También. So, si no queremos especificar que es viento o si no, it will be called a mill in general. But if we say windmill, then I think of Don Quixote de la Mancha. So excellent, German. This is not your run-of-the-mill mill. So run-of-the-mill, something that's not that great. Really, it's average. There's nothing special about it. As Chris showed us the expression last week, it's nothing to write home about. No es para tirar cohetes. No sobresale, right? It's run-of-the-mill, ordinario, right? Excellent, German. Wow. Chris Valrol says this is not a run-of-the-mill mill. Absolutely. Great job, German. And Chris Valrol. Laura says this is not a run-of-the-mill windmill. Como acabo de decir, windmill, ya vamos más específicos. O no llamaríamos una fábrica a windmill. Eso ya sería el objeto. But if you say the word mill by itself, then that one, in fact, my mother goes to the theater. She goes in New Jersey to this theater called the Paper Mill Playhouse. And it's along a river. Do I have to tell you any more? It used to be a paper mill. It used to be una fábrica de papel. And why? There was a mill that powered the factory, right? And again, that mill, I believe, when we don't put the word wind, we're talking about the ones, they're beautiful, by the way. You know, I love, there's nothing like seeing a nice mill in the water, right? But the idea is the same. Uno lo mueve el agua, otro lo mueve el viento. So excellent job. Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, Laura taking an awesome stab at today's Say What soundbite. It looks 95%. She said, that's all I got. Well, you know what? You did a wonderful job, and we'll take a look at the words you missed in just a little bit. All right, let's see. German says, do you want to buy this mill? Just give me a mill and it's yours. A million. A million. That's short for mill. You can say mill or millie. Give me a millie. A million. Excellent job. All right. Laura says, if everything goes as planned, I'll be there. Double A. How could I miss it? You know what Richard Vaughn said? I'll be there come hell or high water. O sea, que puede ver incendios, infierno o inundaciones. Yo estaré ahí. I'll be there come hell or high water. Great, Laura. Looking forward to catching up. As I said, guys, get there early if you want to chat, because once we get started, it's hard to chat individually. And I'd love to, spend a few minutes with all of you chatting and catching up, poniéndonos al día. Let's see. And Laura says, and I'd love to be able to be there when Born to Iron Man is there too in December. No doubt about it. Hopefully, all of you will be able to make it in November and December. I'll be hosting in November, as you know, as I tell you every day, and Richard Vaughn in December. And this way, we go out on a high note. We end the year on a high note, right? Or with a bang. Otra vez, dos formas de decir, por la puerta grande. All right, we've got a lot of stuff to do, so let's go on to Name That Movie. Name That Movie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a look at a movie from the year 1990. I remember seeing this movie at the movies. Now, I know the British say at the cinema. We say at the movies or at the movie theater. Movies es corto para movie theater. So here we go. Let's see if you recognize the premise. A tough cop must pose as a kindergarten teacher in order to locate a dangerous criminal's ex-wife, who may hold the key to putting him behind bars. Vamos por partes. Tough, duro. A tough cop. Esa palabra no es cup. Cup es taza o vaso, right? This is cop. He's a cop. A tough cop must pose To pose es pose, no? Hacer de. A kindergarten teacher. So he's going undercover, decimos, right? To go undercover is, I forget the word you say, de paisano or something like this. As a kindergarten teacher, in order to locate, ubicar, a dangerous criminal's ex-wife, la ex-mujer de un criminal peligroso, who may hold the key. To hold the key es tener la llave, pero literalmente es ser lo que falta, ¿no? La pieza clave to putting him behind bars. ¿Te suena? Entre rejas, I think you say. All right. Let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, our movie queen. She's the movie queen. Oh, yeah. Chris Valrol. It's Kindergarten Cop. Oh, man. I remember one of the funniest lines in the movie. He's like, "Oh, I have a headache." And he's sitting there because he's got a headache. I think because he got punched or something. I don't remember. Arnold Schwarzenegger's character. And then the kid goes, "Maybe it's a tumor. Quizás sea un tumor." And he goes, "It's not a tumor." It's one of the funniest lines because of the way he says it. And by the way, a nice round of applause for all my students for speaking English better than Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not a tumor. That's how he sounds. Yeah. So it's Kindergarten Cop. Chris says, I loved it. The kids are awesome. No doubt about it. All right. Well, let's take a look at this movie. Again, it came out in 1990. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Penelope Ann Miller, and the director is Ivan Reitman. Ivan Reitman, I mean, we're talking about Ghostbusters. We're talking about some of the greatest movies ever made. Ivan Reitman. Oh, man. Well, he's also done Ghostbusters Twins, so I guess he likes working with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Kindergarten Cop, Space Jam, Private Parts, Heavy Metal. I mean, he's been behind some of the greatest movies ever. All right, here we go. So Detective John Kimball, that is Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, says, "How do I look?" And Phoebe says, "Take off the gun. Quítate la pistola." And he realizes that he has it in his shoulder holster. A shoulder holster is this thing where you carry a gun that's like around your shoulder. A shoulder holster. A ver, holster is something that holds the gun, and the shoulder one is pistolera, funda de la pistola. Okay, a shoulder holster. And then the detective says, "That's a good idea. Buena idea." And Phoebe says, "The little bastards are going to eat you alive. Estos pequeños bastardos te van a comer con patatas," I think you say. Te van a destruir, te van a devorar. They're going to eat you alive, es la expresión. And he says, "Get some rest and don't worry. I've been working undercover for a long time. They're 6-year-olds. How much trouble can they be?" Oh, famous last words. ¿Cuánto problema pueden dar ellos? And then Phoebe says, on second thought, buena expresión, pensándolo mejor, on second thought, take the gun. Llévate el arma. All right, folks, that's Kindergarten Cop. It's time for your joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, folks. All right, these are some factory jokes. I figured since we learned many different ways to say factories, mill, factory, plant, well, I figured we could also take a look at some jokes as well. Now, I think you guys are definitely going to get the first one because I use this word to describe you guys all the time. Did you hear? I lost my job at the vehicle factory. Yeah, I guess I just didn't have the drive. Drive, conducir, motivación. You know that word. You all got that one. So congratulations. Yeah. All right. Did you hear about my friend, though? My friend got a job at a jeans factory, and he said it was a riveting experience. Riveting means, wow, exciting. It's entertaining. It's riveting. But also, a rivet is something you have on your jeans, or it's something that's used to secure something. Remache, roblón. And I know Chris, if I'm not mistaken, Chris used that word once. So you got both of those, Chris. All right, last one. How did the boxer let everyone know when he'd arrived at work? He punched in. No. To punch in, fichar. To punch out, fichar, porque tienes que salir, es la hora de salir. So to punch, how did the boxer let everyone know he'd arrived at work? He punched in, and later he punched out. Okay, all right. Now you see why I'm not a stand-up comedian. But you know what? Knowing your level of English, I guarantee most of you got all three of those jokes, and that's worth celebrating. So let's celebrate in today's famous birthday trivia. Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. All right, folks, this guy is the lead singer and songwriter of the group Duran Duran, or as you say in Spanish, Duran y Duran. Y sí que Duran. No, you say Duran Duran, right? Well, we say Duran Duran, and, well, do I have to tell you their songs? Hungry like the wolves, spinning around, haunting the sound, and or Coming Undone. I love that one. That's a beautiful song. Or, and as I try to find my way to the ordinary world, I will learn to survive. That guy. Number 2, we just mentioned his name. He was an actor, director, producer. He directed Meatballs, no sé cómo se traduce al español, Stripes with Bill Murray, where he's in the military, Ghostbusters, Twins, Ghostbusters 2, Kindergarten Cop, and many, many more. And last but not least, this American author was born today in 1950. She is an author, public speaker, and an actor. And recently, she released a docu-series with Martin Scorsese called Pretend It's a City. Haz como si fuera una ciudad. Como que no estás en un pueblo, tío. It's really good if you want to see it. And if you want to capture the grittiness of a New Yorker, she's that one. All right. Number 1 is Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran. Number 2, Ivan Reitman. And number 3, Fran Lebowitz. That's right. Check out the documentary if you have Netflix. It's called Pretend It's a City. Haz como si fuera una ciudad. Gilipollas es lo que le falta decir al final. And this is Fran Lebowitz in today's Say What soundbite. She says, in New York, there are millions of people. And the only person looking where she's going is me. La única que está mirando donde va soy yo. I should write a manifesto. Okay, un manifesto. The title of which would be Pretend It's a City. Y el título sería, the title of which would be Pretend It's a City. It would take one subway ride, okay? Un viaje en el metro for the Dalai Lama, eso es the Dalai Lama, to turn into a lunatic, raging person. O sea, hasta el Dalai Lama. Un viaje en el metro y se volvería loco, rabioso. So here she is, Fran Lebowitz from Pretend It's a City. And she even says it in this clip.
In New York, there are millions of people, and the only person looking where she's going is me. I should write a manifesto, the title of which would be Pretend It's a City. It would take one subway ride for the Dalai Lama to turn into a lunatic, raging person.
All right, amigos, that's for you. Thank you again.
for all your energy that you put into the show and learning English. It's paying off. Está dando frutos. Because as I said, many of you speak better than the Governator. That's right, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, also his shtick, su juego, su firma is not speaking too well. So today we're going to say goodbye with Hungry Like the Wolf, because it's Simon LeBon's birthday from Duran Duran. Thank you so much, everybody. Have an awesome day. Stay tuned. Up next, you've got Ale in Speaking with Confidence. Ciao for now. Earth is a fire. Come on.